Fort Payne Parks and Recreation and our Walk with Ease program. This is session 7, and we're so excited that you have found us on YouTube and hope that you're part of our program. And if you're not, we'll actually be having another Walk with Ease program, so you can always contact us for more information to find out how you can be a part of it as well. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the arthritis diagnosis and just some basic information about arthritis. My degree is actually in exercise physiology, and before I came into the recreation world over 20 years ago, I worked at the hospital here in Fort Payne in the physical therapy department. And I tried to kind of stay up to date on arthritis and different things, because in recreation we want to help people, and knowledge is power. So arthritis. What does the word arthritis mean? Basically, it means the inflammation of your joints. Itis is inflammation. There's over 100 different medical conditions that's used for the term that the term arthritis is used for. And it's projected that by the year 2030, 67 million Americans will have been diagnosed with arthritis. Many things can cause arthritis. It could be genetics. You might have had an injury and done damage to a joint. You might have had an illness like rheumatic fever that caused damage to your joints. It could be unknown. It could just have arthritis with no really known reason. There's two things, however, that will increase your chance of getting arthritis, or it will increase the severity of your arthritis, and that is being overweight and injuries. Injuries, we probably can't do a whole lot about those except to be safe as we can, because it is very important to be active. I played sports. I can tell you how many times I slid into second base and sprained my ankle. And of course, I'm starting to pay for it now with a little bit of arthritis buildup. So being overweight is another thing that can increase your chance of having arthritis or the severity of your arthritis. And we can control that to an extent through our diet and through exercise and being active. Of course, it's kind of common sense. The heavier you are, the more weight there is on that joint, and the more damage you can do to it, and the more it's going to hurt. Let's talk a little bit about the 3 most common types of arthritis. We have osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, and fibromyalgia. And these are the 3 most common. Osteo is the most common, affecting about 27 million Americans. And osteoarthritis is found in knees, hips, fingers, shoulders, low back. And the severity varies from person to person. Osteoarthritis can be in a single joint, like it could be in your right knee and not your left knee. A lot of times those people who have joint replacements, it's osteoarthritis that has caused that damage. Not all the time, but common. Rheumatoid arthritis. Rheumatoid arthritis is actually a systemic autoimmune disease. In layman's terms, that means it affects your whole body. 1.3 million people suffer from rheumatoid arthritis. Like I said, it affects the whole body, and it is symmetrical. You will often see it in both sides. If it's in the right hand, it'll be in the left hand as well. Because it's an autoimmune disease, rheumatoid arthritis also causes fatigue, decreased appetite, and can cause weight loss. Rheumatoid arthritis can cause red and inflamed joints. If you see people whose fingers and their joints are real red and inflamed, that could be rheumatoid arthritis. Fibromyalgia. Fibromyalgia is not actually an arthritic condition, but it is more of a syndrome. Fibromyalgia means pain. Pain in your muscles and your connective tissues, which is your ligaments and your tendons. Ligaments and tendons connect muscle to bone. Because it is a syndrome, fibromyalgia comes with symptoms. And these include fatigue, decreased endurance, sleep issues, headaches, muscle aches. All that sounds kind of familiar, basically like the flu. A lot of people with fibromyalgia will say that it feels like they have a mild case of the flu. They can also have tender areas or what's called trigger points in their body, in their muscles. It can be a very debilitating issue. People with fibromyalgia often feel like they just can't get up and go that day. Whether you have osteo, rheumatoid, or fibromyalgia, or another type of arthritis, it's very important that you find that balance between rest and exercise. It's really important that you find that in all aspects of your life for health in general. Rest is important because that's when your body heals itself. If you have arthritis, when you rest, it can help decrease your inflammation. But too much rest, on the other hand, that's not good either, because it'll cause you to lose strength. It can cause your bones to get soft. When you do strengthening exercises for your bones, you're actually making your bones harder, which is good. So work on finding that balance between rest and exercise and movement. It's very important that you continue to move and keep those joints lubricated. We're going to bring Liz up now, and she's going to go over some reminders for you guys that are participating in our Walk with Ease program.
Hey, it's me again, y'all. Today we are going to have a little bit of reminder about arthritis. We're going to go over the 2-hour rule. Remember, if you have pain 2 hours after you walk than before you walk, that means you've overdone it, right? So you want to back up and ask yourself a few questions. Let's see, do I have good supportive shoes? You want to have good supportive shoes when you walk. That helps reduce pain. You want to make sure you have good socks. That helps with swelling. You want to make sure that you're on level surface starting out. Always walk on level surface. Remember, we went over that. And another thing you need to do is to make sure that you have good body mechanics. Remember, we went over that last session. Good body mechanics. Always, whatever you do on the right side, you do on the left. You want to walk. Head up, shoulders back, walk good. And again, if you start getting a little bit of pain, remember, there's always heat and cold. Remember, you want to alternate those heat and cold, 20 on and 20 off. For instance, if for heat, you may want to put a towel in a microwave, heat it up, put it on you, or sometimes you might want to use a heating pad. A lot of times I prefer a heating pad. But you got to be real careful with heat because you might get burned. Now with ice, you want to either use a cold pack, or you can even check in your freezer. You might have a bag of peas, grab a bag of peas, put it on you. Just whatever works for you. Remember, the heat may not work, the cold may work. Again, that's where you go by perceived exertion. You know what works for you, that's what you need to do. And your walking diary. Remember to go refer back to that walking diary. In doubt, that diary, that's what a diary's for. Keep up with everything you do. So go back to the walking diary. If you're doing it, that's great. If you're not, please start keeping up with it. So that way you can keep up with your goals. And I'm fixing to go out. This is the end of session 7, ready for 8.